Good morning, students. Beta, today we do the polarization of light. Even yesterday, when we did the polarization, there I explained you what is polarized light and what is unpolarized light. I think now it's clear to all of you that unpolarized light is the ordinary light, the light we get from the sun, or in which the light spread out in all direction, means the vibrations of the electric field vector is in all the direction, like this. And we represent the unpolarized light by this also. And when we say the polarized light, that means the vibrations of the electric field vector is in one particular direction only. We are restricting the vibrations in one direction only. It can be this or this. Now today we'll do the experiment which shows the polarization of light, or we can say which defines the polarization of light, that the light we are getting is polarized or not, whether we are getting the one component of light or not. It can be the parallel or the perpendicular, but only one component, any of these two component. See beta, here I draw the half diagram. Here you can see S is the source of light from which the unpolarized light. This is the unpolarized light. I represent the unpolarized light here in both the ways, by these arrows and by this arrow and the dot. But when you draw the diagram, you will show only the one of the two. The unpolarized light from the source S, it falls on this is the crystal. This crystal is made of tourmaline, or we can say this is the tourmaline crystal. It can be calcite. Beta, these are the natural occurring materials. And here the light, this unpolarized light falls on this crystal C1, and I told you this is the tourmaline crystal. Basically bache, these crystals are cut parallel to the crystallographic axis, and the crystallographic axis, it is not a line, it is basically a direction. What we do, crystallographic axis. What is crystallographic? Here it is a crystallographic axis. What is crystallographic axis? It is not a line. Basically crystallographic axis is a direction, and any line parallel to this crystallographic axis, we can take it as the axis. Any line parallel to it. Basically crystallographic axis is the direction, and any line parallel to it can be taken as the axis. So this crystallographic axis is not a line, it is a direction. Here you can see in this crystal, I draw this dotted line. This dotted line is the optic axis of the crystal, or we can say this dotted line is the transmission axis of the crystal. Now see beta, when this unpolarized light fall on this crystal C1, then what will happen? The vibrations which are parallel to this axis, they passes through this crystal, and the vibrations which are perpendicular to this axis, this optic axis, they are absorbed by the crystal. Bacha, this crystal I'm talking about here, it's tourmaline or calcite. These crystals have particular axis. Basically, these crystals have particular axis. When the light fall on that particular axis, what will happen? Only the vibrations we get after falling on that axis, we get the vibrations in the one direction only, and the rest of the vibrations get absorbed. These crystals have the properties when when light fall on this crystal and on that particular axis, then the vibration, various vibrations get absorbed. Only the vibrations which are parallel to this axis, they passes through the crystal, and this property is also known as the selective absorption. Now see beta, when the unpolarized light fall on this crystal, the vibrations which are parallel to this axis, they passes through this crystal and the rest of the vibrations get absorbed. So the light which we get after passing through this tourmaline crystal, after passing through the crystallographic axis or the transmission axis or the optic axis of this crystal, we get is plane polarized, or we can say this light is linearly polarized or plane polarized light. Plane polarized or linearly polarized. Now to see the light which we get after passing through this crystal is polarized or not, what we do, we keep the same crystal parallel to this first crystal, such that the axes of both the crystal are parallel to each other. Beta, here when I draw the diagram, this crystal seem to be bigger than this one. Otherwise, both crystals should be of same height or of same size. Now see what happened. I keep the another crystal here. This crystal will act as the analyzer, because we are analyzing the light through this crystal. And the first crystal, we call this crystal as the polarizer, because the light after passing through this crystal get polarized, we get the one vibrations only, and only those vibrations which are parallel to the optic axis. Now see what happened. Now I keep this crystal, this analyzer, in such a way that the axes of both the crystals are parallel. When the vibration passes through this crystal, only those vibrations will pass which are parallel to this axis, and we can see these vibrations, all these vibrations are parallel to the axis of this analyzer. So the light which passes through this analyzer is a plane polarized light. Now beta, what we will do now, we are going to rotate this analyzer along this axis. Now we will rotate this analyzer. Now I'm rotating this analyzer in this direction. Okay, now when I rotate the analyzer, then the direction of this optic axis also changes. See beta, I'll draw the half only. This was our polarizer. We get the polarized light. Now what I'm going to do, I'm rotating this analyzer. I'm rotating this analyzer. When I'll rotate the analyzer, the direction of his optic axis changes. My diagram is not at all neat, but you can clearly see the direction of the optic axis changes. Now when I change the direction of the optic axis, you will see when this polarized light fall on this analyzer, their intensity decreases. Their intensity decreases. Now I keep on rotating this analyzer, means I am changing this angle between this optic axis of analyzer and the optic axis of the polarizer. Okay, I'm representing here this P as polarizer and this second crystal as analyzer. Okay beta, now we keep on rotating this analyzer such that the angle between the optic axis of the polarizer and the optic axis of the analyzer is 90 degree. Now the angle between this and this is 90 degree. We will see no vibration will pass through this analyzer, because the direction of this vibration is perpendicular to the axis of the analyzer. So we will not get any light here. It means our light is completely polarized. So this light is our plane polarized. This is experiment which shows that our light is polarized or not. Beta, here one thing I would like to tell you, it is not in your syllabus, and that is the Molus law. And as per this law, the intensity of light we get after of the light after passing through this analyzer, it depends on the square of the cosine of the angle between the axis optic axis of the polarizer and the analyzer. See Vijay, what is this? Molus law. It is not in your syllabus. I'm just giving you the brief idea of this law. See beta, what this law was given by the Molus. As per this law, when the completely polarized light, when completely polarized light this completely polarized light incident on the analyzer, optic axis of the analyzer, completely polarized light incident on the analyzer, then the intensity of the light we are getting here, then the intensity of transmitted light is directly proportional to the square of cosine of angle between this optic axis of our this analyzer and the polarizer, between the optic axis of or the transmission axis of analyzer and polarizer. It means if this is okay, I'm drawing it fast. If this is my polarizer, when unpolarized light fall on this polarizer, we get the polarized light, and this is my, but I'm again telling you both the crystals should be same. Now it depends the intensity of the light which we'll get after passing through the analyzer. It all depends on the angle between the optic axis of the polarizer and the analyzer. But you can clearly see axis of, this is the axis of polarizer and this is the axis of analyzer, and the angle between them is, okay, we represent the angle as the theta. See here the angle between these is, if theta is the angle, then the angle between this is 0 degree, because both are the parallel and the theta is of 0 degree. See what happen if this is the axis of my polarizer, and now I will rotate. If I rotate the analyzer, I already show you when we rotate the analyzer, its optic axis, direction of the optic axis keep on changing. See here, polarizer axis are in this direction and the analyzer axis are in this direction, and the angle between them is theta. Now the intensity of the light which we get after passing through the analyzer, it all depends upon this angle theta, square of the cosine of the angle theta. Now see beta, when both analyzer and the polarizer are parallel to each other, then the angle between them is theta, that is 0 degree. And see if my intensity of the unpolarized light, if I represent because the light when get polarized, it's one electric field vector get absorbed by this crystal, because I told you it has the special property when the light fall on that particular axis, only that light passes and the other rest of the vibrations get absorbed. So when we get the polarized light, the intensity of the polarized light is always less than that of the intensity of unpolarized light. If I represent here the intensity of unpolarized light, suppose I represent the intensity of this polarized light by I naught, then if I is the intensity, or you can say then intensity of the if I naught is the intensity of this polarized light, then the intensity of unpolarized should be 2 I naught, because always the intensity of polarized light is half of the intensity of unpolarized light. Now beta, if I represent it by 2 I naught, then it should be I naught. Then the intensity which of the light which we get after passing through is, it should be, that intensity is proportional to the square of the angle between these two, and that is and that is cos square theta, or intensity is equal to, if I represent it by I naught, then it is I naught cos square theta. And you can easily see, if the theta is 0, then the intensity of the transmitted light, if I put theta 0 here, what we will get? We will get the maximum intensity. If theta is 0, if I put here, we will get the maximum intensity. Now if I keep on rotating this analyzer, then the angle between this axis of the polarizer and the analyzer goes on changing. It goes on changing, and the moment will come when the angle between the axis of the polarizer and the analyzer is 90 degree. Then if I put theta 90 here, then we will get the intensity of the transmitting light is 0. Then the intensity of the transmitted light is 0, because cos 90 is 0. So this intensity I am not going to prove here the smallest law. I just give you the idea of the smallest law. It is not in your syllabus, so I am not going to prove it. The intensity of the transmitted light which we get from the analyzer, it was described by the Molus, that the intensity depend upon the light which we get after polarizing, its intensity depend upon the square of the cosine of the angle between the optic axis of both the analyzer and the polarizer. Beta, there is one more thing. Okay, I think I should stop here. The thing which is left, that is your plane of polarization and the plane of vibration. This I will explain you tomorrow, otherwise it will become a very lengthy. Okay beta, thank you बच्चे.